Strategies in Seduction Through Manipulation. Here, we will explain the key differences between successful conversationalists, successful emotional manipulators, and notorious romancers. You can be both the first two without succeeding in the third, and who doesn't want to be able to successfully seduce anyone they want? When you know how to get into someone's mind with sultry, emotional manipulation, it doesn't matter who you are or how much is in your wallet, despite what some people may say. At the end of the day, the thing people will listen to the most is their emotions, and we will tell you how to handle someone's emotions just the right way so they go crazy for you. This is the perfect chapter to end on because we will show you how to use all 7 foundations of emotional manipulation to seduce someone. First, we have state control. State control on your end means not being bothered by rejection. Being rejected doesn't reflect on you in any way. It only reflects on the situation, the disposition the subject had at the time, and your own delivery. If any of these things change, you can turn a rejection into a date. But if you don't manage your state control, you will lose hope with this person and never get anywhere. Be sure not to take state control for granted in seduction. But don't forget that state control is also controlling the emotional state of the subject, and this is everything in seduction. Now, it is a little different here, because you don't want them to feel a negative emotion. In other cases, it is fine for them to feel a negative emotion for the purposes of them seeing things your way in the end. But in romantic affairs, our senses are too fragile to be two negative valences. Therefore, you need to control their state in a more gentle way. As we move through the rest of the 7 foundations, you will see what we mean. Next, there is sensory acuity. Especially when it comes to seduction, the senses are everything. You need to make sure your love interest is experiencing positive sensations around you. Are you making sure they are drinking a sweet drink? Do you smell good? Does your skin look soft to the touch? Is there music playing, or is there a lot of noise? We understand that some of these things are outside of your control, depending on the social environment, but some of them are in your control. Of course, the most obvious part of sensory acuity here is managing your looks. But we all know what we do to spruce up our appearance. So this book is more concerned about how we maintain positive extra senses for your love interest. Make sure you are paying attention to their unconscious body language. All of our lessons in that area apply to seduction as well. Use your insight to read between the lines when they speak. Finally, use your imagination to strategize how you can change things between the two of you. And use your sense of imagination to get them to see you and them as a possibility. It may be that you are not even in their view. This doesn't even have to be a bad thing. Sometimes it is not personal. They might not even think they're looking for someone right now. Getting them to see you as a possibility might just mean seeing anyone as a possibility. But following all these other techniques will make sure it is you. Next, the foundation of unconscious communication comes into play. Ask yourself what your love interest is doing with their eye contact. How are you responding to it? Does their body language look relaxed? Do they look like they are in charge or like they're waiting for permission? Voice and emotion in the voice can make the difference between knowing what is on your love interest's mind or being completely clueless. Sometimes they give us clear signs of what they are thinking. Other times, they completely leave us in the dark. But we have to be sure to listen for these things either way, because we can't afford to miss something. The 4th foundation of neuroscience comes into it because of the mirror neurons. Remember that the best way to get mirror neurons to fire is to tell a story. Now, with a love interest, you can't just jump into a conversation with a story though. You have to make sure it feels relevant to them. But this is what will seduce them. This is what will get them to have deeply felt emotions for you. Psychology, the 5th foundation, plays its part in the dark psychology of social comparison. It is a forbidden truth that social standing plays a big role in the selection of mates in the real world. That means you may have to manage your social affairs before you can get with this person. It depends entirely on their goals. But dark psychology doesn't lie. The most attractive thing a woman can find in a man is the impression that other women want them. This may seem strange, but we see this isn't the animal kingdom, as well as in research on humans. It seems like when women think other women want someone, it makes them want that man too. It is probably a good extrapolation to make that the same goes the other way around. Imitation is self-explanatory for seduction. Do whatever unconscious cues of communication they are doing, and they will let you deeper into their unconscious. Nothing changes here in the realm of seduction. The seventh foundation, framing, is where you finally land the date. You need to follow the techniques and rules from the previous chapter and make sure you have presented yourself in a consistent way so far. After you've done so, you can reach the event step and frame yourself in a certain attractive light that can't be denied. They saw this was all true based on the rules you followed. If you go by all these guidelines, you will have anyone worshiping you at your feet because everyone loves to be emotionally manipulated, particularly in the context of seduction. Whether we want to admit it or not, it makes us excited and it makes us feel thrilled. We like to feel submissive sometimes. It makes us feel good to think someone else is in control. This applies to the area of seduction as much as it does anywhere else.